Hi guys, MrRoflWaffles here. We have some massive news coming out today. First of all, we've got our first look at the new Zombies HUD coming in Black Ops 7. We've also got continued shots fired from Activision towards not only Battlefield, but also Arc Raiders now, again. Battlefield is facing its own series of controversies with regards to its microtransactions, and we'll be talking about the chaos over on the Xbox side of things that's happening right now, and a bunch more. So get your gamer subs made and ready. That's actually a segue into the first story of the day that I need to let you guys know about, because there is less than 24 hours until the GamerSupps Halloween free shipping sale ends. If you got free GamerSupps using code Milo in the last month and you wanted to order tubs like this one, this is my favorite, Joe Biden Lean, trust me, it's an amazing flavor. If you wanted to order this, but the tubs were too expensive when you added shipping on, then now is your opportunity to get some cheap GamerSupps with zero shipping on orders over $50. But you literally have 18 hours left from the posting of this video to make that order. The link is in the description down below. This is what the page looks like. You're going to go to Sups, then you're going to either go to Energy if you want the caffeinated ones. That works like G Fuel, except there's no chalkiness. Or you're going to go to Caffeine Free. That's the one that I'm drinking with Joe Biden over here. Use code Milo for 10% off when you place your order. And yeah, it supports me too, which is very kind of you. Let's get on with the video. So let's talk about the new Zombies HUD. They showed off in this video, and there's also some other quality of life improvements coming to Black Ops 7 Zombies that are also shown in this video that they make a little bit less noise about. So let's first look at the HUD itself.
Can you tell us more about HUD themes? So what HUD themes are is it's a global system where you can apply a distinct look and feel to your core HUD elements in multiplayer, zombies, and co-op campaign. Can we see the Zombies HUD theme coming at launch? Absolutely. Here it is.
All right, I'm just going to pause it right there, okay? This Zombies HUD theme has some things that we've been asking for and other things that I think people are going to despise, just straight off the bat, okay? It's good that this doesn't just look like multiplayer, right? That is a good thing. Categorically, we have been asking for it to look less multiplayer themed, and it does. However, the gun being in the bottom right in this way is so vile. It's just disgusting. Like, there are certain elements of this HUD that I'm just like, why is it designed this way, bro? So it's a step in the right direction.
It is inspired by zombies, but again, it's a global theme. We had a lot of fun with this one, and it's been crafted for the zombies game we're making. It allows for a light theme behind your ammo widget, behind the squad widget, behind the mini-map and the compass. And it should be a really fun thing for players to experience as they're playing zombies or any part of it.
And I think that that's the issue. I think the reason that the gun is there in the corner is because this has been made so that it works as a global HUD theme, not as a zombies-specific HUD theme. And I hate to be that guy that's like, give me this, give me this, give me this, and then I get this, and I'm like, no, give me something else, give me something else. Like, I don't want to feel like a broken record here, but there are still some elements of it that could be improved. Let's just say that, okay? It's a step in the right direction. It could be better. It could be better, but it's a step, and I really appreciate that step. So thank you, Treyarch. Now, it's in this next question where we get a little bit of info about something else that's changed in the HUD as well. So let's watch through this, and you'll see what I mean.
Are HUD presets returning for BO7? Yes, and we've revamped the system to play nice with our custom HUD settings. As a reminder, you can turn it on and off the mini-map or other HUD elements to...
You can turn off other HUD elements, and if you look at those elements specifically, there are slightly more options than you might have seen previously. Notice that Gobblegums is here. I'm pretty confident we've not been able to turn that off before. So the fact that that's now going to be present in the menu is really great news, in my opinion. So it's not just there hovering on the screen at all times.
Your playstyle.
Perks as well. This is good. This is good.
And we've got a full refresh of the presets coming at launch.
Cool. W. And honestly, there's a fair bit of other good stuff in this little UI and progression update that I'm not going to go into detail on here, but overall, these dev talks have been really positive from Treyarch. I'm loving having an opportunity to be positive about changes that they are making. So keep them coming, guys. This is good stuff, and I'm liking it a lot. Isn't that crazy? MrRoflWaffles being negative once again. So speaking of negativity, yeah, here we go. All right. They did another free trial during the Battlefield BR launch, and it's not even something I'm like feeling very negative about. It just feels like slimy. but in a way that is like, it's fair game, right? But essentially what's happened here is they did a Black Ops 6 free trial during the launch of Battlefield 6 a few weeks ago. And now mysteriously, they're doing another free trial during the launch of Battlefield 6 Battle Royale or RedSec now. Now, the reason the Ark Raiders has been swept up in this is that this also covers the Ark Raiders release date, which was today. So they've kind of killed two birds with one stone here, or they're trying to kill two birds with one stone. But even so, there are people resisting it. Modern Warzone here being like, we're going to be on RedSec, fam. Like, cut it out, you know? But still, Activision is trying their very best to undermine their competitors with their free trials. No surprise. Now, in Battlefield land, all is not as chill as it may seem, because despite the fact that the game has been very successful, it's broken Battlefield sales records, and it's got a very healthy player base, even though that player base is not as large as Call of Duty's, admittedly, there's been a lot of skins controversy over the past couple of weeks, and I believe it all began here with this skin, which the Battlefield community was really rallying against and saying, if you use this skin, you will not be getting revived. Which is so funny because it's actually so toxic. Like, imagine playing a game of zombies in Black Ops 6 and a teammate of yours is playing as Nicki Minaj, and so you just refuse to revive them. Like, it's actually crazy. But yeah, there's been a lot of talk in the Battlefield community, and I think that this is something that honestly they're gonna have a little bit of a tough time with over the next couple of years, because Battlefield 6 is designed to last a long time. It's a live service that is going to last. And in order for that to economically make sense, you gotta sell skins. But if you can't have skins that are even just this colorful, then you're really limiting yourself in a massive way. And I don't know if people are gonna purchase them to the extent that are needed in order for their live service to be continuously economically justified. And obviously, you can go too far in that argument and you just end up making Nicki Minaj skins. But this, to me, looks like a reasonable middle ground. It's not that crazy, but I guess for the Battlefield people, this is just too much. And honestly, I respect that. I respect them wanting their game to just sort of be plainer in that way. I respect it. It's going to cause some problems, though. Just you wait. Those crazier skins will happen at some point, because otherwise they won't be able to sell any, because they'll all look the same. Now, speaking of everything being the same, Xbox has decided that it doesn't want to be the same anymore. What a segue. Fantastic stuff. So there was a clip that came out a little while ago now, actually, from Xbox President Sarah Bond, where she appears to confirm that the next-gen Xbox will be a hybrid PC and console. This is the clip. Let's give it a quick watch.
There's a console that could kind of be a gaming PC and console in one. Like, that would be helpful for me. I don't know what you can tell us about the next-gen console. Any?
Well, I can tell you're right that the next-gen console is going to be a very premium, very high-end curated experience. You're starting to see some of the thinking that we have in this handheld, but I don't want to give it all away.
So this is interesting, right? It's going to be a very premium, very high-end experience, which seems almost counter to what a lot of Xbox's positioning has been recently, where they're saying gaming's for everyone on every device, and it's no longer about that high-end experience as much. But this news doesn't exist in a vacuum, right? There is a larger story brewing here about Xbox's aspirations as a brand. The bombshell that really shook up this conversation came from Bloomberg, where the one and only Jason Schreier reported on the fact that Microsoft is pushing for higher profit margins aggressively, and their goal of hitting 30% profit margins specifically has led to job losses and cancelled projects. And there's been an absolute ton of discourse around this, because it sounds like, to the uninformed ear, I think, which is no critique of the uninformed ear, but it sounds just at face value like this is just Xbox being greedy, right? That sounds like that might be what that means. And if you then try and sort of examine it in the context of the industry and you ask, for example, do you know what PlayStation's profit margins are? You get numbers thrown out like 17% to 22%, or Toby here says net profit's been below 10% for most fiscal years. Grok over here is saying that they hit 16% in Q1 fiscal year 2025, up from prior year 7 to 9%. Like, there's various numbers that get thrown out, but what all of this entire conversation here is failing to take into account is that the way that these companies do their reporting is not apples to apples in comparison. It's apples to oranges in some ways. And so that muddies the conversation a little bit. It makes it a little harder to pin down what's going on, but you have seen reporting on this already for for several months now, actually. You had Jez Corden in July posting about Satya Nadella and Amy Hood placing unrealistic expectations on Xbox, Windows, and others, and this 30% profit margin goal coming from Amy Hood internally. And Jez has said that the damage is becoming increasingly untenable. You've also had people like Tim Dog here, who I'm not super familiar with, but who I've seen be a really big part of the conversation in the last couple of weeks, who also reported on this exact number, actually, prior to it coming out anywhere else, or at least as far as I could tell. And you get people like Actman saying the Xbox crash out is generally one of the most confusing but entertaining nukings of a brand I've ever seen, which I personally disagree with, to be honest. It's been an avalanche of non-stop diarrhea, and at this point I've got nothing else but to cheer it on. But then you've got people like Tim saying this isn't something to be celebrated. There are really good people at Xbox, and it was once great because of them. Very good people have been laid off here. Very good people were fired for the wrong reasons, and a lot of people are hurting right now within Xbox families. I think that this is true, and I think also in scenarios like this, as much as that 30% profit margin number might be unrealistic, I also don't want to pretend like I know the internal accounting practices of Microsoft that might dictate the way that they could fudge their numbers to get to a 30%, or the plans that they already have in place to do so. And so as much as this article looks bad, and it really does, I mean, Jason Schreier's reporting is always pretty lethal in this department, it's something that I would need to do more research and be better informed about to really have a well-rounded opinion, in my opinion. So I've been trying to consume and engage here and understand a bit more of the context, but I'm still in the process of doing that. If you would like me to do a dedicated video on this story specifically and the news around it and the reactions around it, let me know. But for now, we're gonna shelve that for the time being in this video. But it is a very interesting developing case, which remains to be seen exactly what implications it's gonna have for the wider industry. I mean, the commentary I've seen has said that they got that 30% profit margin number from Activision's books. So the internal Activision reporting was that they were targeting 30% profit margins. And so apparently Microsoft was looking to that number, but then you've had other people that are saying, no, actually, it's more so that when you're evaluating the potential for a business unit in general and for an arm of your business, like striving for that kind of number is exactly what you would do. You would strive for that ambitious goal, and you would test and experiment and see what works. So like, I don't know. I just don't know enough about it right now. I've been reading a lot though. Very interesting story. Let me know if you want to hear more. Now, something I thought I wanted to hear more about, but actually I changed my mind very quickly, was the replacer trailers for Black Ops 7. I feel like they kind of missed the mark with this one. To be honest, I think that this pretty much sums up my reaction to this marketing, because this is the sort of stuff that they're putting out, and it feels like this just isn't really hitting the nail on the head for me, you know? And I have to question whether this is actually going to make anybody buy Black Ops 7. Feels a little off, just a little bit, and that's why this is how I'm reacting to it. Now, in the meantime, while Call of Duty's been putting out teasers like that, I've been putting in work in the gym. You know, I've been keeping busy, and no matter what I do, bro, my lats will not grow. I swear, I've been trying to get a wider back for like 5 years at this point, and it just doesn't happen. Help. If you want to see more like fitness content from me, by the way, I would love to make more like fitness videos. I post this stuff on Instagram and on Twitter all the time. I've also been cooking a ton recently. So like I made a carrot cake the other day that was a vegan Halloween carrot cake that I thought was really cool. It tasted great. I made beef stroganoff, which tasted amazing. I've been doing some side quests while I wait for this new game to come out, man. And yeah, if you want to see some videos on that stuff, you just kind of got to leave a comment and let me know. Now, speaking of things that we want to see more of, I think all of us can probably agree that Master Chief is someone we'd like to see more of in theory if they made some good Halo games. But I don't think anyone was expecting Halo to come to PlayStation. This announcement is wild. I mean, we're getting this Halo campaign evolved, and that's going to be coming out, and that's sort of exciting. But the fact that it's going to be on PlayStation is still just blowing my mind. It's a good thing, I think, in some ways. It's also a very scary thing in other ways. I think it's almost a concession of defeat for Xbox as a brand that this has happened. And it makes me wonder about the future of that company, man. I question it. I wonder, but that's the news. That's the news. It's at least a pro-consumer move, I think, and a pro-consumer piece of news. I think that the consumers surely win, at least in the short term, from this happening. And another area where the consumers seem to be winning, as far as I can tell from the outside, is in RuneScape right now. So RuneScape put out this 6-minute video, like a sort of dev talk style video. And in it, they basically say, we have eroded the integrity of our own game over the years, and we want to fix that now, and we're going to put it to a community vote. There are features in the game that the community have held in contention for a long time now, and they've literally got a poll on their site where you can vote to remove massive chunks of the game that you don't like. I mean, let me see how many votes it's on right now. Looks like that's 101,122. And they needed 100,000 votes to proceed with this removal of the treasure hunter feature. And it looks like it's just hit it. So that's great news for them. But the thing that I really wanted to commend them on in this video is not specifically the removal of treasure hunter. I haven't played RuneScape recently enough to know what treasure hunter is. I played it before that even was a thing. But what I loved is just the way that they did this video. You watch the video and the way that they're talking about their acknowledgement of getting things wrong is really refreshing to hear. And the way that they've done this community poll is awesome. Can you imagine if Treyarch did this sort of thing for zombies, where they were like, we know we've messed up in XYZ area with like the point system, for example. Do you just carte blanche want the old point system forevermore? And we could vote. That could be pretty cool. Obviously, they would need to be careful about the way that they would do something like that. But I just really think that this particular form of creating a community conversation and talking point around it, getting people involved, getting people voting, was a really cool approach. So I wanted to give them some props for that. And granted, there's still people that are mad about the way they're doing it. Like, the first response is like, you're asking for 100,000 votes? Isn't that way too much? And then there's people saying it's a step in the right direction, but realistically, if you want new players to come to RuneScape, there's going to need to be a fresh start server. Like, there's clearly bigger fish that people want fried here. What about all our stuff? Am I going to get reimbursed for that? 100K? Like people are definitely sort of being unhappy as they always are. But yeah, I thought it was cool. Now, something uncool is that Krafton, the publisher of PUBG and Subnautica, is planning to become an AI-first company. And what this means for them is that they will spend 30 billion Korean won annually to help employees adopt and apply AI tools in their daily work. And this one is tricky. This is real tricky because when you put it this way, right? The move will automate routine work through AI systems capable of setting goals and executing complex tasks, allowing staff to focus on creativity and problem solving. That sounds good at face value. It's just problematic when you remember that realistically, it's probably not going to allow staff to focus on this. It's going to allow staff to be laid off because big, dumb, stinky idiots in suits are going to come along and they're going to say, well, if I can automate this spreadsheet, why don't I just automate this artist as well? And then we're screwed. The good news, though, is that not everyone agrees with this AI-first approach and strategy. So you've even had people like the Take-Two CEO come out and say he doesn't think a Grand Theft Auto built with AI would be very good. And if we look at the article in a bit more depth, Zelnick says that while he's not a naysayer, he believes AI's impact on production remains limited, and a reason is because of intellectual property, but a bigger hurdle is that AI is inherently backward-looking because it's tied to large datasets of old information. He says, let's say there were no constraints on AI. Could we push a button tomorrow and create an equivalent to the Grand Theft Auto and the marketing plan, and here it is? The answer is no. A, you can't do that yet, and B, I'm of the view that you wouldn't end up with anything very good. You end up with something pretty derivative. And that's very true. He's hitting the nail on the head. It ends up being derivative and it ends up being copyright infringing just by virtue of how it works. So it's nice to see the new GTA game will likely not be kneecapped by loads of AI usage issues compared to the potential upcoming work of certain companies. Yeah. So that's it for today's news. Remember to go to gamersupps.gg/Milo and get your Gamersupps orders. You can buy 2 tubs. That'll be over $50 and you'll get 100% free shipping, but only for the next 18 hours. So be very, very quick. And if you're watching this video and you've missed the sale, number 1, unlucky bro. Number 2, you can always go to gamersupps.gg/Milo free and order free samples just to kind of make yourself feel better, I suppose. So thank you for watching. Cheers to all of you ordering Gamersupps with my code. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you like them just as much as I do. And I'll see you next time for more gaming news. Bye for now.